Now on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. O'Connor and Company.
It's 5:07 on Tuesday morning here in your nation's capital after an extraordinary, historic, remarkable day. When the eyes of the world were on 1600 Pennsylvania. We now give you everything that we've got on what happened yesterday, what might happen next. We're not going to predict it because we're not the morons on cable news, but we will break it down and give you some analysis. We'll also talk about an extraordinary decision by the Loudoun County School Board to punish boys for objecting to girls in their locker room and in their restrooms, and how that might affect the upcoming governor's race and, for that matter, the upcoming congressional race in Virginia 11, where early voting's already going on. We had a debate yesterday, and Sir Whitson comported himself masterfully. We'll give you those details, and a whole lot more are going on today, starting at 6:35 with Noah Wall, president of the State Leadership Initiative. We're going to follow up on a story we talked about yesterday, where the state DEI initiatives, even if you're in a red state, despite the Trump administration's efforts, DEI is often running still on steroids. We'll give you an update there. It's 7:05. Mary Catherine Ham, friend of the program and political commentator, will join us. At 7:35, Dan Hoffman, retired CIA clandestine services officer. We'll get his perspective on what's next with Russia and Ukraine. And then at 8:05, J. Christian Adams, on President Trump's announcement yesterday that he wants to do away with all mail-in ballots. So that's a loaded morning. Thank the Lord. And I mean that because I say this prayer every day. Thank God Julie Gunlock is part of what we do here every day.
You're so sweet.
My wingman.
Oh,
good morning.
Thank you. That is a lineup. The goodness, our executive producer, Heather Hunter, busy.
As
all these
always,
great guests.
Yes. And let's face it, the news cycle, even beyond our guests, give us plenty to talk about, including yesterday. I mean, listen, we're talking about all these great world events and all these, movers and shakers in town, and half of the Western Europe here sitting with the president and seeing a cleaner Washington than they saw last time they were in town. And Prime Minister Maloney there with her amazing eye rolls captured on film. I love that woman's eye rolls. Good God. Although I would hate to be the man in her life being subject to some of those facial expressions.
Welcome to Darren Gunlock's life.
I'm sure you're out at a dinner party. Honey, could you tone it down a bit, please?
Seriously. Are you done?
Wait, I've got to roll my eyes one more time. With all of that going on, for many of our listeners, the only thing that mattered yesterday was that it was the first day of school. It was back to the drudgery, those poor children having to go back to schools, and parents oftentimes see it as either a liberation day of their own or their own sense of drudgery. And my understanding is, Julie, you've become sort of an outlet for many of the parents who dread what the woke school systems in Northern Virginia are about to inflict on their kids. And boy, did it start on day one yesterday.
It did. In Alexandria, Virginia, I mean, every single government official is sort of a radical leftist. And frankly, most of the residents here are. And so there's a real culture of intimidation here. If you speak up, you are immediately shut down, and they are ruthless. Like they'll if you work in business, like for instance, if you're a real estate agent, you run a beauty salon, or it's relentless. They'll try to destroy you. So people are pretty quiet here if they object to things. So they know that I am a friendly person, a friendly source, and I get a lot of messages from parents who are concerned. And what's interesting is they're not all conservative. Even parents on the other side have reached out to me. And so, it started yesterday. Got a text from a woman that I know. And boy, she was really concerned. Her child was handed a handout from a teacher whose name I know, by the way. And the teacher, this handout, it was just looked like a questionnaire with it was multiple choice and a lot of yes and no questions. And some of the questions were, of course, what are your pronouns? Okay. And then, can I share those pronouns or preferred name with your parents? Then the next question is, if not, what should I use instead? Which pronoun should I use instead?
Whoa.
So may I use these pronouns with other teachers, including substitutes? May I use these with caregivers? May I use these pronouns when I contact caregivers? May I use your class name? So name you want me to call you in class, and then may I use your class name when I contact caregivers? And then may I use these pronouns when I contact caregivers? May I use these pronouns with other teachers, including substitutes? If the answer is no to all of the above, to any of the above, which pronouns should I use instead? This is what we're dealing with here.
So first of all, do you know, is this system-wide? Is this just for this school? Is it just for this teacher? Is there any indication on this questionnaire?
This is for a particular class.
Okay.
And a particular teacher. Now, it was the first day, so there's other classes to go to.
Yeah.
But the fact is that Alexandria City Public School is allowing these questionnaires to be passed out to students. And let me tell you, Larry, I have friends and other friends. I have a friend whose kids go to Fairfax. I have a friend whose kids go to Loudoun. This is not unusual. Okay, this is the first time I've seen evidence of it written down in a piece of paper.
Yeah.
But I want to, with these other examples, Fairfax and Loudoun, the teacher would stand up and the kids would have to say their name and their pronouns. So it's not unusual.
So first of all, it sets the predicate with these students. If it hadn't, can you give us an idea of the age range of the kids in the class?
8th grade.
8th grade. So these are
8th grade.
13 years old, 12, 13 years old,
Yep.
in the middle of puberty.
Yes, this is socially transitioning, by the way. This is how it starts. This is
Right.
what they like to say is grooming. This is how it starts because it plants the seed. Oh,
That's
am I
right.
allowed to choose? Oh, wait, really?
It
My
sets
teacher's
the
okay.
predicate that
Yep.
your pronouns could be in some way fluid, therefore,
Yep.
ergo, your gender could be fluid, and it's something that is expected. Not, it's the impetus
Right.
isn't on you to come in and say, by the way, this is something that's going on in my life. No. The
It's
teacher
introduced.
is now expecting you to have some level of fluidity potentially.
Yes.
But it also, even more dangerously, with regard to your accurate characterization that this is grooming, it sets the example to the students that we can keep this and many other secrets from your parents.
Yes.
On day one, tell me this thing about you, and now tell me if you hide that from your parents, because if you do, I'll help you hide it from the parents. Outrageous.
It is outrageous.
Absolutely
Again,
outrageous.
Day one, this teacher, again, I know her name. Her name. I don't know. Maybe she doesn't identify as a her.
Yeah, how dare you.
I know its name. Okay. Like we're talking about some alien. And she passes this out to students. Now, what's so interesting, Larry, is my
hold
friends
your thought.
are...
I want to know what's
Oh,
interesting,
sorry.
so hold
Yeah.
it. I want to hear it. Don't forget it, because sometimes I tell you to hold your thought, and then you don't hold on to it. We'll continue with that, and also give you the update that we just teased about the Loudoun County schools banning these boys. Now they're punishing the boys for not wanting girls in their locker room in a moment. First, though, it's 5:15.
WMAL, making sense of the news. Live from the Home Paramount Pest Control Studios. Home Paramount, the leader in pest control since 1939.
All right, we continue as we discussed with Julie Gunlock. First day of school yesterday, and this extraordinary questionnaire handed out by a teacher on day one, asking students about their preferred pronouns, and then asking, now, do you keep that secret from your mom and dad? Because if you do, that's fine. I'll keep it secret with you. Go ahead, Julie.
Yeah. What's interesting is I know this family, this mother who sent this to me, and they're a wonderful family. They have incredibly good relationship with their children, and their son felt uncomfortable and shared it with mom and dad.
Yeah.
As it was explained to me, she has no doubt that most of the children in that classroom did not share this with their moms and dads.
Yeah.
And probably threw it away or, filled it out and just turned it in and didn't think about it. Or maybe some of them did think about it, planted that seed. But the bottom line is most kids probably did not share this with their parents. And her point was, they just get away with this because she didn't say this, but I suspect a lot of teachers say, don't share this with your parents, or, this is between us. This is something for me to get to know you better. This is all part of this system of socially transitioning kids. So, it's just maddening, and I suspect we'll hear a little bit more about this. But really, brava to that mom who sent that to me, because it's important to expose what's going on.
It sure is. Yeah. And I just want to confirm this is a teacher in Alexandria schools, right?
Yep, Alexandria Public Schools.
But you're right. I have no doubt that it is across the. I mean, this is what Fairfax, the president of the Fairfax School Board, got sworn in, not on a holy book, but on a stack of book of kiddie porn, gay kiddie porn.
Yeah. This is what we're dealing with here. Yeah.
Super
and Loudoun's
inclusive.
Even worse. I mean, I say worse? I don't know, worse. But just as bad.
Loudoun, I guess, is just as bad, but they're more maddening because we know that a large percentage of the populace there have been fighting against this kind of garbage in their schools for so many years. And they win many of the fights, but then the new members of the school board come in and just pick up where the person that just got drummed out left off. And the latest is the Loudoun County Public Schools announced yesterday, they've been investigating this incident where a girl who is allowed to identify as a boy in school and access boys' locker rooms and boys' bathrooms. This girl took out her smartphone and began capturing video inside the locker room, the boys' locker room, which is a violation of school rules.
I think it was a bathroom.
Oh, okay.
While these kids were going to the bathroom, she walks in and she starts filming them and taunting them.
Right. And the boys say, "Why is there a girl in here? I don't want a girl in here. This is a problem for me." The boy, they've been investigating this under Title IX, and now they have determined that the boys violated the rules.
That's right. Right.
For bullying, the girl.
Yes, this girl, who is in an intentional provocative move, walks into the bathroom and films boys. When did that become okay? Right? Abigail Spanberger always talks about, when did it become okay to harass kids? Well, what do you call a girl walking into a boy's locker room and filming them while they're going to, or bathroom, and filming them while they're going to the bathroom? Seems like harassment to me, right? And it seems like sexual harassment to me, right? And then they're punished. The victim is punished.
And the school system, by the way, all the school systems in Northern Virginia, including Loudoun, Prince William, Arlington, Alexandria, Fairfax, they've all decided that they're going to stick with these policies, and because they claim that it would be a violation of the rights of the transgender identifying student to make them go into a different restroom. Not worrying about the fact that it violates the rights of the other children who are utilizing those facilities. Kristen Wagner of the of ADF, Alliance Defending Freedom, she put out a notice saying this is wrong. In fact, maintaining these policies, as Northern Virginia school systems have, that's a violation of Title IX.
Yep.
Alliance Defending Freedom just fought for the state of Idaho to reject all of these policies, and they've been awarded up through the Ninth Circuit and Federal District Court and the Appeals Court. Yes, you can say only boys in the boys' room, only girls in the girls' room. These are cowards. These are cowards, and these are activists.
And they are chaos creators. They are chaos. Yes, they are the reason.
They want chaos. Absolutely right.
They do, and I really do look forward, really quickly, Larry, to watching. I hope these families sue. I hope that they get their kids' college degrees funded by Loudoun County. Loudoun County doesn't care, though. I mean, they're now willing to lose, millions of dollars in federal funding for education. They're willing to spend millions of dollars on legal fees and lawyers, right? So they don't care. It's all for the cause.
Yeah, and we know that Abigail Spanberger, should she win the governor's race in November, will throw down with Loudoun County, with these other school systems that are doing all these things we've described today. Yeah, happy first day of school, everybody, by the way. You know what? How about some good news? We do have good news yesterday. Let's embrace that. Yesterday, the Virginia State Board of Health decided in favor of writing new state regulations meant to protect women's sports from being invaded and exploited by male athletes. It's taken, and This is kind of important here, and I wish that Virginia could rethink their idea of only having a single term for a governor, because we're 3.5 years into Youngkin's term.
Exactly.
And they're just now getting these regulations done. And I understand the wheels move slowly sometimes in government. But Spanberger, I'm sure, will fast-track reversing this the second she can get in if she wins. But it is good news. As of yesterday, they determined that men are men and women are women, and they're biologically different, and therefore men's and women's sports should be segregated and separated. And that's a wonderful thing. Congratulations to the Virginia State Board of Health.
I like to call it the duh policy. I mean, honestly, all of these things, I'm like, what? What? Wait, when you lay it out, Larry, I've been working on this issue for years, but when you lay it out, when you say things like that, Larry, when you're like, they've determined that a man is a man, is a woman,
that men are men and women are women.
Men and women are different. There is a part of me that's like, okay, yes, we're celebrating this, but I'm like, what is wrong with you people?
Indeed. 523.
Coming up, there's a terrible story. An illegal migrant truck driver was involved in a Florida crash, and the video is horrible. His reaction is disturbing. We're going to give you the details on that. So keep it here. It's 5:30.
WMAL-FM, Woodbridge, Washington. A Cumulus media station. Making sense of the news. News Talk 105.9. News now. Now on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. O'Connor and Company.
It's 5:37. Our morning is flying by already. Coming up at 6:35, Noah Wall with the State Leadership Institute. Talk about how DEI is continuing stronger than ever at the state level, in many red states, too. 7:05, Mary Catherine Ham will be our guest. 7:35, Dan Hoffman, retired CIA spook on the Russia-Ukraine talks. And at 8:05, J. Christian Adams on mail-in ballots and Trump's announcement yesterday that he's done with them. It's Larry O'Connor alongside Julie Gunlock. Good morning, Julie.
Good morning.
Julie, can you share your pronouns with me? And can I tell your husband what pronouns you use?
Well, my kids had a panned answer for that, because they were really, at one point we were worried they were going to get asked. So they would always say, "I'm a carrot." Was what they would always say that they identified as, and we would all laugh. So.
Can I tell you this stuff? I love that your boys are like that, and part of it is because they grow up in your house,
right.
But it also. Teenage boys are going to be the tonic to all of this. The boys, my son, they just turned 20 last year, but he's still in that generation, the generation who was told to stay home and wear a mask when they're out playing soccer on the field, and my son in particular, who, after doing his best to get straight A's in AP classes and do everything right, when he was applying for college, the colleges said, "You know what? Because of the pandemic, we're taking a holistic approach. We're not going to look at the SATs. We're not going to look at your grades." And my son's like, "Are you kidding me? Because of a freaking Chinese virus after the 18 years of hell I just went through?"
Amazing.
That they are the tonic. They're going to fix all of this eventually.
Yes, they are.
All right. That said, I'm doing my best to avoid this next topic because it is heartbreaking and it is infuriating. And I don't like to get my blood pressure up this high at 5:38 in the morning. But there's a viral video going around that is absolutely maddening. It shows a semi-truck making an illegal U-turn right in front of a sign that says no U-turn, by the way, on a Florida highway. And while making the U-turn, now the security camera inside the cab of the truck has been released, showing the driver and his passenger, two nonplussed men of Indian descent. They're Sikhs, so the driver's a Sikh. He's got a turban on. As he's making this illegal U-turn from the lane that he is departing, you can see in the side window from the security camera a minivan, just slamming right into and under his trailer. One suspects decapitating the driver and passengers of that van. They were killed instantly. And we'll get to the reaction of the driver in a moment, but just the details real fast. An illegal immigrant in the country They had been rejected for a work permit in 2020 under President Trump, but then he reapplied and got his work permit under Joe Biden. So that's sin number two.
Go.
Sin number one was letting him into the country in the first place and not deporting. Sin number two was the Biden administration letting him have a work permit. Sin number three is Gavin Newsom's state of California allowing him not just a driver's license, a commercial driver. I was told that the driver's license that were being issued for illegal immigrants was so that they would get insurance and they'd properly follow the rules of the road when they were driving in a passenger car. I didn't realize that extended now to commercial driver's license so that they can get jobs as professional semi-trailer truck drivers, thus displacing an American-born or citizen of that job. So he had not just a illegal immigrant driver's license, he had a commercial driver's license to drive a semi, and he clearly doesn't know how to do it because he just killed people.
I mean, and these vehicles are deadly. These semis are deadly. I mean, to give this guy to allow this guy behind the wheel of a vehicle like that, it's terrifying. I mean, if you've ever been on a highway, and sort of trapped between two trucks, you sort of in your mind, trust that these are some of the best drivers, right?
That's
these
right.
are highly trained drivers. Well, it turns out, no, they're not. Good luck.
We hear this all the time from truck drivers, that they see some of the worst things going on the road, especially down by the southern border as trucks are coming up from Mexico. Now, the Trump administration has been cracking down on that. They're merely by taking drivers off the road who cannot speak English is a huge step in the right direction. But this individual, Harjinder Singh is his name. He crossed the southern border. He's from India, but he crossed the southern border into California in September 2018. He was processed for fast-track deportation by the Trump administration back then. He was then able to stay, claiming he feared being sent back home. Well, they know that those are the words to say. No, you have to give me asylum. I'm terrified to go back to India. Really?
Yep.
What are you scared about? Well, I get no jobs there. It's very scary
Right.
not to have a job.
Right.
So then he was released on a $5,000 immigration bond. He still waits a decision for his asylum case, by the way, which is 7 years old. Thank you very much. Then he got a work permit under Biden. Then he got his commercial driver's license. Now he's driving a trailer truck in Florida. He conducts this illegal U-turn, and now he's a murderer.
Yep. 3 people dead.
Now, let's get to the security camera, because this is the most chilling part of it, Julie.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can pick it up here, again, you can see the camera inside the cab. You see the driver and his passenger, and through the window, you see this minivan just slam into his trailer,
barreling,
instantly killing people.
Yeah, this is an interstate. This is a highway. I mean, this minivan, probably going 70 miles an hour, slams into the truck, goes underneath the truck. I mean, there's a video where, and honestly, prayers for the first responders who had to respond to this, because in the video you see them sort of climbing under the carriage of this tractor trailer, and I mean, I cannot imagine what they had to deal with. But the weirdest part is, again, camera in the cabin. The guy looks behind him as he's trying to take this U-turn. He sees the minivan coming. The minivan then slams 70 miles an hour into his truck. I can't tell you how weird it is, Larry. He just turns around and is like, ho hum, now I have to deal with this. And they show him on the street, on the interstate, like watching the first responders go under the truck. And he's just like, oh, well, there's no emotion. There's no reaction. There's nothing. It is chilling.
No
and
sense
again,
of humanity.
None. It's just this sense of, oh, look at this. Look what's happened.
There's no indication that there's any value of life, of human life, in any way whatsoever. And I was going to say that the reaction when this car hits with people who clearly are instantly killed by the impact. I was going to say the reaction is like what you and I would react if, we ran over a squirrel. But actually, it's less than that.
No, I would actually be horrified if I ran over a squirrel, Larry. Okay,
Yes.
I'm not. I'm even.
I would feel bad for the little baby squirrels.
There are large bugs that hit my windshield, and I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. Okay, so
it is.
I might be a little emotional here, but this guy, it is as if he ran over a tire.
It's
okay, chilling,
and despicable. And this is the country that Donald Trump inherited from the Biden administration. And these are the policies of Gavin Newsom and Kamala Harris and Joe Biden and the Democrats writ large put into action. And we still, to this day, we do not have a leading Democrat politician who is being discussed as a potential presidential candidate who will stand up and say, you know what? Trump's right about the border. And Trump's right about illegal immigration. And we got to stop letting people in. We got to stop letting them stay in. We got to stop giving them work permits. And we got to stop issuing them driver's license. We got to stop all of this. Not one Democrat is willing to step forward and say that.
That's right.
It's 5:45. MSNBC is dead. Well, or at least they've been pronounced dead, but the actual funeral will be before the end of the year. They haven't given a specific date, but they're no longer going to be MSNBC. You know, they're being split off with a couple of other cable assets owned by NBC, Comcast, Universal, and of course, NBC said, yeah, we don't want our Peacock associated with that garbage anymore. Please, you do your own thing. Do your own thing. So I was shocked that I just assumed that they would come up with a whole brand new name if they had to come up with a new name. First of all, let's start at the beginning. If you're confident with your content and you're proud of it and your market research suggests that the viewing public trust you, trust your brand, and trust your content, you don't change your name.
Right.
Okay? You it's the last thing you do. It is the last thing that you do. Why would you do that? You've built a brand, you've built a name, you've built trust, right? You're not going to do that. So MSNBC we got to switch things up. We got to come up with a new name, new identity, new everything. Okay, wonder why. Fox News has literally been the exact same thing since the first day.
Right.
Same with Newsmax. All right, that's number one. But secondly, I assumed if you're going to change your name, you come up with a whole new thing, right? Instead, inexplicably, they are now called MS Now. They kept the MS, which, by the way, people forget, this started as a joint venture between Microsoft and NBC News. But the Microsoft left, years ago. They didn't want anything to do with it. But they kept the MS. Now it's MS Now, and we're told that it stands for My Source News Opinion World. It's so stupid.
And it's so this is so easily changed, like BS Now. You can just hear Chris Plant,
right?
Coming up with a bunch of different.
Rush Limbaugh called them PMSNBC, if you remember.
Which is perfect.
And if you look at the logo, they've created a little sort of bannery flag kind of thing in front of it. If you squint, it looks like a P. PMS Now is pretty easy to get to. Especially with Nicole Wallace as one of their stars.
The funniest part is the egos of some of the stars like Rachel Maddow, and you mentioned Nicole Wallace. They loved this imprimatur of, NBC, right? They loved this idea that they were part of a bigger news, like, a national news service. And this seems like, launching from the garage,
No, actually, streamers who operate from their garage are actually going to get more digital play than they are getting. Hearing Joe Scarborough make the announcement yesterday was hilarious because he was like, well, we're no longer burdened by the corporate shackles that we were under. This is entrepreneurial. It's new.
That
it's
corporation
exciting.
was so conservative.
That's right. Well, let me tell you something. Funny you should say that. I bet you that having that little peacock there actually put a certain level of constraints on what they were doing. Now that it's gone, get ready, folks. It is. I'm thinking they'll hire Joy Reid back. Let's go.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Yes, MS Now is now, of course, coming. People are coming up with their own acronym. You're at PMS Now makes sense. The BS Now is a good one. My favorite is this. It's News Opinion World, right? News Opinion World is what now is supposed to stand for. Sarah Huckabee Sanders, she said, oh, yeah, it's more like no one watching, which is pretty good. 5:54.